Imagine a corridor, not a doorway, not a highway. A corridor, 21 miles wide at its narrowest, where the single wrong move could spike your gas prices, trigger a financial panic, and drag 4 of the world's most powerful navies into the same patch of water before sunrise. Every single day, roughly 20 million barrels of oil travel through this passage. That's enough energy to power the United States for over a month, squeezed through a gap you could drive across in 30 minutes. It has a name that sounds almost poetic for a place this loaded with consequence. The Strait of Hormuz. You've heard it in the news. You've seen it referenced in tense White House briefings and Pentagon statements, but you've never seen it like this. Because beyond the warships, the missile batteries, and the shadow games of empire, there is something else here, something the headlines never show you. Red beaches that look like the planet is bleeding into the sea, salt caves that glow like frozen fire, fjords so ancient and quiet they feel borrowed from a different world, a village that speaks a language found almost nowhere else on Earth. This is not just a flashpoint. This is a place, and it is extraordinary. Stay with us. We're going through the gate. Let's start with the numbers, because in a place like this, numbers are everything. The Strait of Hormuz sits between Iran to the north and Oman to the south. It connects the Persian Gulf, a body of water rimmed by Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait, the UAE, Qatar, and Bahrain to the Gulf of Oman, and from there to the broader Indian Ocean. Its narrowest navigable point measures about 21 miles across. The actual shipping lanes, the lanes every tanker must follow, are just 2 miles wide in each direction, separated by a small buffer zone. Think about that, 2 miles, for ships carrying 1 million barrels of crude oil each. 21% of total global petroleum liquids pass through here daily. Over 70% of that oil is headed for Asia, China, Japan, India, South Korea. One-fifth of the world's liquefied natural gas trade flows through this passage. Nearly 17,000 commercial vessels transit the strait every year. That is roughly 1 ship every 30 minutes, around the clock, every day of the year. For the United States, this place has been a core strategic concern since the 1970s. Every major energy disruption in modern American history traces a line back to this water. When Iran threatened to close it in 2012, oil prices spiked within hours. When tankers were attacked and mined in 2019, global insurance rates jumped overnight. The strait doesn't even have to close. It just has to look unstable. The military picture here is unlike anything else on Earth. Iran has spent decades building a layered defense system along the northern shore of the strait. It is not simply an army at a border. It is an interlocking web of sensors, missiles, mines, and fast attack boats designed to do one specific thing: make closing this passage credible. Iran operates over 1,500 small fast attack craft, some armed, some acting as decoys. Anti-ship missiles like the Noor and Qadr have ranges exceeding 120 miles, covering the entire strait. Drone programs, including the Shahed series, can surveil and strike at extended range. Naval mines, some of them bottom-hugging, nearly invisible to sonar, have been a recurring threat since the 1980s. Radar stations on Iranian islands watch every vessel entering and leaving the Gulf. From the other side, the United States Fifth Fleet is based in Bahrain, just 40 miles from the strait. American aircraft carriers, destroyers, and surveillance aircraft maintain continuous rotation through these waters. The UK, France, and regional navies add additional presence. At any given moment, sailors from opposing fleets may be close enough to see each other's faces through binoculars, close enough to hear each other's radio challenges through the salt air. This is not a Cold War metaphor. This is a Tuesday morning in the Gulf. Here is what makes Hormuz unlike any other choke point in history. The country, with its hand closest to the switch, Iran, cannot actually afford to close it either. Over a third of Iran's own oil exports use the same corridor. Closing it would be like burning down the building you live in to deny your neighbor heat. And yet, the threat has value precisely because it is credible, not necessarily likely, but credible. That is the cold mathematics of this place. A narrow sea, a contested geography, and 20 million barrels a day held in perfect, fragile tension. Welcome to Hormuz. "140 miles long, shaped like a crooked finger pressed against the mainland. Qeshm is the largest island in the Persian Gulf and one of the least understood places in the Middle East. From the water, Qeshm is geography as leverage. It sits inside the strait like a warden at a gate, close enough to the mainland that Iranian military infrastructure, ports, radar, missile batteries, almost reaches across the gap between them. In 2024 alone, approximately 20 million barrels of oil per day moved through the waters visible from this island's shores. Qeshm doesn't have to do anything. Its location is the statement. But drive inland from the military installations, follow the coast road west, and you'll reach a place that makes you forget, briefly, that you're on one of the most militarized islands on Earth. Laft is a small harbour town on the northwestern tip of Qeshm, and it looks like it was designed by a people who understood heat and sea better than almost anyone in history. The houses are built from coral stone and sun-dried clay, materials that breathe. The streets are narrow enough to create permanent shade. And rising above the rooftops, dozens of tall, slender towers reach into the sky. These are wind catchers, Badger in Persian, and they are one of the oldest air conditioning systems ever devised by human beings. Each tower is oriented to catch the prevailing sea breeze, funnel it down through a shaft, and release it into the rooms below. No electricity, no machinery, just geometry and airflow. On a day when the Gulf air sits at 110 degrees Fahrenheit, the rooms beneath these towers can be 20 degrees cooler. Sailors from Arabia, Persia, and the Indian Ocean once anchored at Lafts Harbour. Portuguese traders came here, pearl merchants, spice carriers. The mangrove forests nearby sheltered wooden dhow vessels navigating the tidal flats on their way to distant ports. Today, fishing boats drift near the shoreline. The light falls at angles across the coral walls. The wind catchers still stand, quiet sentinels over a harbour that has been busy for 1,000 years. Here is something that will stop you. On a militarized island inside a strait where two regional superpowers watch each other constantly, there is a craft so ancient, so refined, so deeply human that UNESCO has placed it on its list of intangible cultural heritage. The traditional building and sailing of Iranian Lenji boats. In yards along Qeshm's shore, master craftsmen still construct massive wooden vessels almost entirely by hand. The largest are over 100 feet long. They are built using techniques passed from father to son, from master to apprentice, for generations that predate the concept of the nation-state. No blueprint. The shape lives in the hands. Curved planks meet without visible gaps. Ropes tighten the frame before metal fastenings are added. When a finished vessel finally touches water for the first time, those who built it often fall briefly silent. These ships once carried cargo between Persia, Arabia, India, and the east coast of Africa. Some still sail. They pass, occasionally, through the same shipping lanes where American destroyers and Iranian missile boats run their eternal patrol. Old wood, new weapons, the same water. But Qeshm hides something else entirely. Something so geologically extraordinary that it earned a second UNESCO designation, this time as the Middle East's first UNESCO Global Geopark. The Qeshm Geopark is not a nature reserve in any conventional sense. It is an open book of the Earth's history, hundreds of millions of years of it written in exposed rock, salt domes, canyon walls, and fossils. The landscape looks sculpted rather than natural. Narrow canyons twist through pale limestone. Wind moves through them with a low, hollow voice that sounds, on certain days, almost like language. Salt domes push upward from deep beneath the surface, ancient mineral deposits lifted by pressure from below. In places, the rock crumbles like dry clay. In others, it catches sunlight and throws it back in fragments of crystal. Mangrove forests breathe along the tidal margins. Migratory birds cross the sky above. And the silence here, the meticulous silence of very old ground sits over everything like something earned. The most violent sea lane on Earth, the most ancient geological record in the Gulf, and the same island holds both. Most people, when they hear the name Hormuz, think of the strait. They don't know there's an island with the same name, a small volcanic outcrop at the entrance to the Persian Gulf, and one of the strangest looking places you will find anywhere on this planet. Hormuz Island is roughly 7 miles across. It sits where the shallow Gulf water meets the deeper currents of the Gulf of Oman. Radar stations scan the channel from its ridgelines. Patrol boats idle in its harbour. Military outposts overlook the shipping lanes below. And on the other side of those ridgelines, hidden from the strategic maps, invisible in the satellite intelligence photographs, is a landscape that looks like God spilled a paint set across a desert. The Hormuz Rainbow Valley is, without question, one of the most visually astonishing places on Earth that most Americans have never heard of. The ground here is not one colour. It is not 2 or 3 colours. The hillsides shift through crimson and ochre and gold and rust and charcoal and pale white and deep volcanic black, banding after banding, layer after layer, each one representing a different mineral deposit shaped by heat, pressure, and time over tens of millions of years. Iron oxide gives the hills their reds and oranges. Sulfur compounds produce yellows and greens. Salt crystals catch the light and make certain slopes appear almost luminous at certain hours. The valley floor holds wind-sculpted grains of brightly tinted sand. After rainfall, the colours shift. Minerals dissolve and redeposit, creating patterns no human painter could replicate. Every storm is a new composition. Locals have used the red earth for centuries, ground into powder, mixed with oil and fragrant herbs. It becomes a natural pigment still used in traditional cooking and cosmetics. On an island ringed by military hardware, in a strait that has brought the world to the edge of crisis more than once, there is a valley that looks like this. Geography has a sense of humour. It just requires a different kind of attention to see it. Stand on the ruins of the Portuguese fort on Hormuz Island's shore, and you are standing on 500 years of empire in a single spot. The fort was built in the early 1500s by the Portuguese, who had sailed around Africa and across the Indian Ocean specifically to seize control of this passage. They understood something the modern world sometimes forgets. Whoever holds Hormuz holds the keys to the spice trade, the pearl trade, the silk routes to the flow of wealth between East and West. They held it for over a century. Then the Persians took it back. Then others came. The walls today are crumbling in that patient way that old stone crumbles, slowly, without apology, returning to the landscape that built them. Red coral stone and desert earth blend in the walls until you can barely tell where the fort ends and the island begins. From the old ramparts, the view is unchanged from what a Portuguese soldier would have seen in 1515. The water, the ships, the distant mainland, the endless sky. The same passage, just different ships, different weapons, the same calculation. Beneath Hormuz Island, something extraordinary is happening, slowly, invisibly, over geological time. A massive salt dome, pushed upward from deep beneath the crust by the enormous pressure of buried rock, has broken the surface and is slowly dissolving from above and within. The result is one of the most surreal cave systems in the Middle East. The Hormuz Salt Cave winds through chambers of white and amber mineral, walls that shimmer under low light in tones of gold, rose, and pearl grey. The surface is smooth in some places, jagged with crystal growth in others. Thin streams of mineral-laden water sometimes trickle across the cave floor, carving narrow channels that will be deeper in a century than they are today. The cave is still becoming, still reshaping itself, a living geological process happening in real time beneath a militarized island beside the most watched sea lane on Earth. Outside, radar, warships, strategic calculation. Underground, crystal, silence, geological time. The same island, the same stone. Two completely different worlds. Cross to the southern shore of the strait, and you are in Oman, specifically in one of the most geographically dramatic and strategically important pieces of real estate in the world. The Musandam Peninsula is technically part of Oman, but physically separated from it, cut off by the United Arab Emirates. It juts northward into the Strait of Hormuz like a stone dagger pointed at Iran's coastline. From the air, its outline is extraordinary, a shattered coastline of deep, fjord-like inlets, sheer limestone cliffs, and mountain ridges that rise directly from the sea without apology. This is not a place that offers compromise. The mountains are vertical, the water is deep, the air is clear and sharp and old. The highest peak in Musandam is called Jebel Harim, the Mountain of Women, and at over 6,800 feet, it watches the entire strait. On its summit, the Omani military operates a radar installation that tracks every vessel passing through the Strait of Hormuz 24 hours a day. This is the nerve center of the traffic separation scheme, the strict maritime traffic system that keeps thousands of fully loaded supertankers from colliding with each other in a corridor barely wide enough for two of them. Every inbound tanker, every outbound gas carrier, every naval vessel from any nation, all of them appear as blips on screens inside that peak. The mountain does not distinguish between ally and adversary. It watches everything. But Jebel Harim holds another kind of secret. Its limestone slopes are covered in fossils, marine fossils, coral, shells, ancient sea creatures embedded in rock that now sits thousands of feet above sea level. This mountain was once an ocean floor. The forces that built the Arabian Peninsula pushed it upward through time, so immense that human history barely registers. Arabian tar, a rare mountain goat found almost nowhere else, navigate the near vertical cliffs with a casual precision that seems to mock gravity. Egyptian vultures circle the thermals above the ridgelines. Desert foxes move through the rocky ravines at dusk. A radar installation at the summit, marine fossils in the rock, wild goats on the cliffs below, tankers on the water far below that. Jebel Harim contains multitudes. The coastline of Musandam is one of the most geologically striking landscapes on Earth, and it remains almost entirely unknown to American audiences. Tectonic forces lifted these limestone ranges over millions of years. As they rose, the sea carved deep inlets between them, channels that cut through the cliffs like canyons filled with seawater, winding into the mountains for miles. The result looks like Norway, transplanted into the Arabian desert. From a traditional wooden boat moving through these inlets, the experience is unlike anything else in this part of the world. Cliff walls rise hundreds of feet on both sides, their layers of pale rock alternating in geological time. The water shifts from deep blue to turquoise near the rocky shores. The sound of the boat's engine echoes off stone that has not been quarried, carved, or touched. Small coastal villages cling to sheltered inlets along the shoreline. Dhow-boats rest on sand beaches, visible only from the water. No roads reach some of these communities. The sea is the only highway. Seabirds circle the high ridges. Wind moves along the cliff faces. The desert does not end at the water's edge here. It plunges straight in, taking the mountains with it. Oman's role in the strait is less theatrical than Iran's, but no less essential. Musandam provides the geographic anchor for the southern shipping lane, the lane through which every tanker leaving the Gulf must pass. Omani radar covers the entire passage. Omani Coast Guard vessels patrol the southern waters, and Oman's careful diplomatic position, neutral, pragmatic, maintaining open channels with Iran even during periods of maximum tension, makes it an indispensable back channel in every regional crisis. When American and Iranian officials needed to communicate discreetly during nuclear negotiations, they sometimes passed messages through Muscat, Oman's capital. The country that guards the southern gate has, more than once, also held the key to the door. From their radar mountaintop, Omani operators track the flow of the world's energy. Below them, in the fjords, fishing boats navigate waters their families have worked for centuries. Geography is destiny, at its most compressed. At the very tip of the Musandam Peninsula, accessible only by boat through deep-cut fjords, sits a village that has no road leading to it. The name sounds ancient, because it is. This village, a collection of stone houses terraced against cliffs above a small harbour, is thought to be one of the most isolated, permanently inhabited communities in the Arabian Peninsula. The mountains behind it are vertical. The sea in front of it connects to one of the world's most monitored maritime corridors. And inside this impossibly remote place, something extraordinary is happening. Every day, quietly, without fanfare. People are speaking a language. Kumzari is an Iranian language and related to Persian, but unlike Persian, it has absorbed Arabic, Portuguese, Hindi, and older regional dialects over centuries of maritime contact. It is spoken by roughly 4,000 people in the world. Almost all of them live in Kumzar. Linguists consider it one of the most isolated and distinctive languages in the Arabian Peninsula, a living artifact of the trade networks that once connected Persia, Arabia, India, and East Africa across these same waters. When Portuguese traders stopped at Musandam 500 years ago, the Kumzari language absorbed some of their words. When Indian merchants passed through, it absorbed theirs. The language is a kind of geological record, layer after layer of contact, each one preserved in vocabulary and grammar like a fossil in limestone. As younger generations leave for schools and jobs in cities across Oman, linguists worry about the language's future. There is no large written literature in Kumzari, no university program, no government mandate for its preservation. It survives in the voices of fishermen leaving the harbour before dawn, in conversations between grandmothers and grandchildren on stone terraces above the sea, in the particular words for particular kinds of waves that only people who have fished these waters for generations would need. "4,000 people, one language, a small harbour, and the most watched sea lane on Earth visible from every window. Fishing boats leave before light. The harbour is quiet, then briefly loud with engines, then quiet again. Nets dry along the breakwater. Children walk the narrow paths between houses in a language their teachers in the mainland city do not speak. The older men repair equipment and watch the water. They have watched it their whole lives. They know its moods. They know the seasonal currents that bring certain fish and the winds that make the passage through the fjords dangerous. They also know the tanker schedules, the patrol patterns of the Coast Guard, the sound of military helicopters passing overhead. This is what it is to live at the edge of the world's most consequential sea lane. Ordinary life, nets, fish, children, weather, conducted against a backdrop of geopolitical tension that their great-grandparents could not have imagined, and that they have simply learned to treat as weather. The sea provides. The sea threatens. The sea connects them to everything and cuts them off from most of it. This is the oldest bargain on Earth. There is a particular kind of humility that comes from visiting a place like Kumzar. We talk about the Strait of Hormuz in terms of barrels per day and missile ranges and naval deployments. We talk about it as if it were an abstraction, a strategic variable, a pressure point, a number in a geopolitical equation. But here, at the tip of the peninsula, in a village with no road, where 4,000 people speak a language built from the residue of 1,000 years of trade and contact, you understand that the strait is not an abstraction. It is a place where people have always lived, fished, built things, spoken languages, passed traditions from hand to hand, generation after generation. The warships are new, historically speaking. The fishing boats are ancient. The missiles are new. The Kumzari language has been navigating these waters since before the word petroleum existed. We came here for the tension, and the tension is real. 20 million barrels a day, 2-mile shipping lanes, missile batteries on both shores, radar peaks watching everything, fast boats and slow tankers sharing the same water, sailors from opposing fleets close enough to read each other's expressions. The Strait of Hormuz is exactly what the briefings say it is: a choke point, a pressure point, a place where the concentrated weight of the global economy passes through a gap you could walk across a bridge in under an hour. But there is also a village at the tip of a mountain peninsula where 4,000 people speak a language built from 5 centuries of human contact across these same waters. A language that absorbed Portuguese words when the Portuguese came for the spice trade, Arabic words from the Dhow traders, Persian from the mainland across the channel. Every word in Kumzari is a record of someone passing through. There is an island where the ground is painted in colours so vivid they look unnatural, where iron and sulfur and salt have spent millions of years creating something that no human artist could design. There is a cave beneath a militarized island where crystal grows in silence, where water moves through salt in channels that will be deeper in 1,000 years, indifferent to every missile range and fleet deployment above it. There is a village of wind towers where the architecture of 1,000 years still cools the air without electricity, where coral walls still hold the shape of a sea that has receded, where fishing boats still leave before dawn as they have for generations. There are fjords where the desert fell into the ocean and created something that looks like it belongs in Scandinavia, tucked into an Arabian peninsula that barely registers on most American maps of this region. The strait has never been only about oil. It has always been about passage, movement, the exchange of things, goods, languages, ideas, people, across a narrow stretch of water that connects distant worlds. The weapons are there, the strategy is real, the tension is not going away. But neither is the red sand, neither is the language, neither is the crystal underground. And neither, for that matter, is the ancient calculation that has always made this gate worth holding, not just for what it contains, but for what it connects. The Strait of Hormuz, the gate the world cannot afford to close and cannot stop looking at. If this journey changed the way you see the map, join us next time. There are more places like this, more gates, more hidden worlds behind the headlines. We'll take you through all of them.